Hello and welcome everyone, my name is the Clever Fool. Today we will be going for the final level in Tariq ibn Ziyad, Razzia. We should get an achievement after we complete the last level, commemorating the completion of the campaign overall. Let's go ahead and get started.
732 AD, year 110 of the Hagira, a month since we crossed the Pyrenees. Our army advances into the heart of Aquitania, scouting the region as we move forward. Thick forests and open fields abound. We made camp near a river crossing. The Frankish army is powerful, but their cavalry cannot match ours as long as we fight on an open field. Using our mobility to our advantage will prove vital in the battles ahead. El Kafiki will risk no error. He has a score to settle with Frankish Count Odo of Aquitaine, the warlord who smashed an Umayyad army at Toulouse 10 years ago. After such a long time, these two giants will finally meet again. The Frankish lands are divided and are no match for the organization of the Umayyad Caliphate. Capturing the city of Bordeaux will surely throw the region into chaos. Then, we will pounce on the scattered Frankish army like a cat upon a mouse. This will be the great Razzia, or raid of our time. I can only pray that we are up to the challenge.
Alright, our main objectives are to scare the Aquitanian villages into submission by destroying their monasteries. Our hints tell us that Al-Ghafiqi's army can support a population of 200. Looks like we're in the Imperial Age already as well, which is really cool. Upon the destruction of an enemy monastery, an enemy army will rush from the nearest enemy city or fortress to the village you are attacking. These armies are too strong to fight and should be avoided at all costs. There are 3 suitable locations for you to establish your camp, one in the far south of the map, one in the east of the map, or you can choose to expand the camp you begin the scenario with. Each choice has different benefits and drawbacks. Fishing is plentiful in the Bay of Biscay, although your enemies will do their best to harass your fleet. Do not attempt to attack the fortresses of the Frankish army or the citadel of Bordeaux without advanced siege equipment. Several relics lie scattered around the map, some within the walls of Frankish fortresses and some nestled in the countryside. Our scouts report that the army of Abd al-Rahman al-Ghafiqi in yellow has made camp in the south of Aquitania and has been conducting raids while awaiting reinforcements. Its sights are set in particular on the Frankish city of Bordeaux. 3 Aquitanian villages, in purple, lie in close proximity to the Berber camp. They are providing the Franks with supplies, but are only defended by a token force and should crumble easily to a swift raid. The city of Bordeaux, in blue, lies near the mouth of the Garonne River, boasting excellent fortifications and a strong land army of mixed composition. Their navy prowls the Bay of Biscay, picking off enemy ships at will. The Frankish army in red is by far your most dangerous opponent. Numerous fortresses sprawl around the countryside, and hordes of battle-hardened paladins, throwing axemen, swordsmen, and auxiliary troops will be a true test for the proud Berber cavalry. Let's go ahead and get started.
3 nearby villages supply the Frankish army with resources. We should pillage them before we set up our camp.
We have the resources to outfit a handful of extra troops, but we are otherwise on our own until reinforcements arrive.
Let's control group all of our units and go about raiding these Aquitanian villages. Okay, it looks like they have feudal age troops, really.
The Umayyad army approaches our village. We're doomed.
That's some really good voice acting there. Now, I've had some criticisms of the voice acting in DE. It sounds more professional, but less emotional. But that voice acting right there was really good. Let's do a little scouting around here. Looks like this must be the eastern portion of the base of the map that is meant to be our base here. There's a nice stack of berry bushes, a little bit of wood. What's this? Fortified tower. That looks like a path to a Frankish army base. We'll want to steer clear of that for the time being.
We are under attack by Berber raiders. Call for reinforcements at once.
Let us leave, quickly! I spot Frankish paladins approaching from the north.
Let's not meet those paladins. We're in no condition to be fighting paladins head on right now. Having some elite Huskarls to start off with is quite nice. They're quite resistant to arrow fire, and they have an attack bonus against archers. Plus, they're not weak to the spearmen, so they won't lose too much HP to them. That looks like the entrance to another Frankish base there.
Frankish paladins are crossing the river. Flee while there is time.
Let's get out of dodge.
To arms! Berber horsemen approach our village!
All right, and I don't even know if we lost a single unit there. Maybe like one. I don't think we've lost anyone really. Yeah, I think we have everyone that that we started with. Gold, stone, and berries here as well. And let's get out of here before the reinforcements arrive.
Approach from the northwest. Make haste to our camp.
Okay, so that's our primary objective completed.
Reinforcements are now on their way to help us establish a camp.
Come on. Avenay. Here? Avenay.
Alright, so now we have villagers. I'm just gonna go ahead and start building where we are. Because otherwise I'd have to sneak past these paladins here. I'm sure red and blue have sent quite a number of paladins over already.
Where's yours? Stuff.
Looks like a fortified tower and a castle there. That's where Bordeaux's base must be. There's a stone pile here as well. There's some boats attacking our camp here. So I guess we should expect boats soon as well. We're gonna need to replace our housing. That's a lot of... Oh, these paladins are actually purple. Let's go ahead and bait them back in this direction. Start building replacement housing. That's even more paladins. Let's bait them to the southern corner here. Set these guys all to defensive stance. Yeah, we definitely cannot afford to fight all these paladins right now. Look at how many there are. Goodness gracious. That's that scout finished.
Here, Berber. Avenay.
Let that tough. That'd be nice.
We're going to want to build a castle as a priority, otherwise I feel like we don't really stand a chance. We're going to want a monastery as well.
Azul, that tough.
Azul, eh? Avenay.
That tough.
Let's build a monastery.
Where's yours? Berber.
Keep gathering wood. And we should expect attacks from the sea in this direction too. I kind of want to build a castle like right here maybe. And to do that we're going to need stone. So let's start putting some villagers on stone. build a couple monks to heal up our forces. Pick up crop rotation. So once we transition our villagers to farms, they'll be as upgraded as they possibly can be. Let's grab a university, maybe right here. Put the relic in our monastery. Continue producing villagers where we are able to. Continue thinking about getting stone. Want to keep our town center producing as much as possible. Want to think about getting that castle up as soon as possible too. I want it on the water so that it can destroy boats.
Here, Avenay, here, Avenay.
Lots of boats. A good amount of wood. Let's build a blacksmith. Perhaps right here. Keep training villagers. And we have stone, so let's build our castle right here. We're going to want another castle on the right side too, if we can. We're actually probably going to need to buy it, so that means I either need to secure this stone or I need to use the gold to buy it, which means I'll need a market as well.
Azul, Avenay. Where's yours? Avenay. Nakwarma? Avenay. Here, Avenay. Azul, Avenay.
We actually won't be able to mine here because the boats will just come up and kill them.
Here, where's yours? I
Let Walmart. Tabernate. Tabernate.
Nakwarma?
Let Walmart. Tabernate. Azul.
That is a lot of paladins. Let's quickly wall up over here.
Azul. Avenay.
hope we didn't leave a hole here. No, it doesn't look like it. But it seems like we're not going to be able to capture as much space as I'd hoped. Let's grab Bracer and Chemistry for our castle. Pick up Conscription. We'll also need Hoardings at some point. That's a lot of units. I'm primarily concerned about the Paladins here. And this is exactly what I mean by wanting to get castles on the water. As demonstrated in the previous campaign, it's a great effect. Having castles on the water greatly increases the efficiency. Oh my god. This is a pretty tense attack. Repair the university. That's our university gone, sadly. But we seem to have managed to at least hold them off for this first round. We'll need to rebuild our university. And that's the first round of attackers gone. Continue building villagers. Research hoardings. Research our blacksmith techs. We're gonna need stables as well at some point. Let's build 2 stables right out here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to tech into camels. You should think about trying to get another castle out and another TC as well. Oh, I didn't know I could expand and close this. Holy crud. We'll need Husk Girls to take care of this ram here. And upgrade to Heavy Camel. And that's Red Team sending more units at us now as well. Let's wall this segment off. That's a lot of enemies. The important thing here is to not panic. Our research got interrupted. Man, oh man, has our economy been disrupted? Let's get these camel riders out ASAP. We're gonna want another TC as well. Pick up ring archer armor. Okay, so we managed to repel the first couple of attacks. We're in all right shape now. We're really low on woodcutters again. Let's go ahead and fix that. I hope they deposited the gold and I didn't just prematurely finish that. Let's complete. We don't have gold, we don't have stone. And they're sending more units here already. Goodness. Gotta kill the ram. And then garrison back in. We're gonna need more castles. More castles and more TCs. And of course more camels. Have the camels snipe these trebs. Looks like these guys got debated. We're gonna need as much stone as we can. Let's get 2 more stables right here. And with camels, we should be able to defend. We desperately need more stone where we can get it. Let's sell off our wood. We should actually pick up guilds, because I have the feeling that market manipulation is definitely going to be a thing here. We're running low on our starting gold pile as well. But again, our population is starting to look up here, at least. We are running low on gold. We need to expand to this northern gold ASAP. Which means we need more stone ASAP. Keep producing camels, keep producing villagers. Keep making farmers. Let's spend a little bit of our population. Ooh, those are the purple paladins that we left. There's our second TC coming up. Keep producing cavalry where we can. Now it doesn't look like they're producing monks at all, which is good for us. And we've actually hit our... We haven't hit our pop cap, rather. We've been housed. Being housed is always positive. We could use many more villagers. Let's do another farmer here, another farmer here, another farmer here. And pick up Maghrabi camels. Having regenerating camel troops is going to be huge for us here. We're going to want some stone miners down here. Stone is really the name of the game. Let's pick up some more camel riders. Start picking up some trebuchets. Have these villagers repair this. Start mining that gold on the west coast. And we'll want to start thinking about destroying Bordeaux here. We've been on the defensive for a long while. How fast do our camels regenerate. It's honestly not that quick. We're probably gonna have a high villager turnover on gold. There's enemies here, I think. Let's send some camels to clean it up. While we're at it, pick up Hussar. Start producing light cavalry so that we don't have only camels with us. Let's expand northwards. And we should definitely start thinking about assaulting blue. We've got no gold miners now. Put these villas back on gold. Keep producing villages from this TC. Keep producing light calves. Keep producing heavy camel riders. Okay, seems like our TC down there is safe. Our villagers are scooping up this gold, or this stone that is. And it looks like blue is on the tip of a peninsula. So if we can actually take down blue in short order here, we'll be very well off. I remember I baited a lot of paladins up here, so let's try not to trigger them. Instead, let's try to kill blue. Okay, let's keep Treb production going. Let's build a castle up here to secure ourselves. Looks like Red's sending a strike force to help. Keep villager production coming on. Start repairing the trebs that we've got. And start pushing blue here. Send our woodcutters forward, and then have our woodcutters chop wood. Or our town center send villagers to wood. Keep sending in Berber camels against these Franks. Let's pull back just a little bit. Keep going, keep producing, keep town center villager time going. The fewer idols we have, the better. Couple more trebs, more light cavalry. Yeah, this is Bordeaux in some serious trouble. Let's build another forward castle in Bordeaux here. The castle should help us start clearing out the ships. Prepare that trebuchet. And Red's now spending all their resources trying to save blue instead of attacking us, which is really good. And our main objective here should be to take out their docks, because really we don't have an answer to their boats aside from our static shoreline defenses. Let's actually pull our camels back, because once we do this, the boats should theoretically walk themselves into, or float themselves into this castle here.
Azul, Avenel. Eh. Nakwana, Avenel. Azul, eh, Leroka. Avenel.
Azul, Sabine, Sabine.
Great. Seems that the momentum is on our side now. Let's repair these trebs again. We're gonna need stone somehow. We should look about clearing out those Aquitanian village paladins. I wonder how many ships Blue has left, as well as how many docks they've got left. Fortunately for us, our resources are starting to stack. Any more docks on this northern tip? Doesn't look like it, so this should really be the last of the boats. And I think this will be Blue finished off. Now we just want to finish off Red's boats. But honestly, it seemed to me that Bordeaux is producing more boats than Red. Let's pack up our trebuchets and send our camels over here. These villas will be temporarily idle. And we'll need a way to deal with the Bordeaux ships. I guess what I could do is I could make a bunch of fire ships.
Rejoice, Mobundo. The heart of Aquitaine is ours.
Ooh, we actually don't need to deal with Bordeaux anymore, which is good. Seems like they've resigned, even though they still have boats. And that's the purple paladins being cleaned up by our camels there. Man, we were running seriously low on gold. Oh, we're losing all our vills. Oh no. Probably lost a good 20 vills by going this direction without scouting for the paladins. Okay, now we can head back. Okay, so now it seems like there's one river crossing here. There's two river crossings that are owned by the Frankish army. And then I imagine their main base must be further in the north. Okay, with Bordeaux safely out of the way, it doesn't look like red produces pikemen. So our camels for the rest of the way should do the trick here. Camels and trebuchets. There goes the Aquitanian villages. And let's build a castle here on the front. And now, after in a whole hour, we've finally hit our population limit, which is good. Let's bust down this trebuchet. And I see a relic there as well. And this is the stronghold across the river for Red Gone. They got tons of towers here. But if this really was all of Red, I'd be very surprised. I'm sure that they must have another base further in the back. Let's send a scout to scout around. Had the monk pick up the relic. There's more stone out here to the northwest, which is good. And I think we've reached the turning point. Red really doesn't have any more ships to send in our direction either. And we've got tons and tons of cavalry units. Let's build some more stables. Oh, that must be the bait. Wow, what's that building? A fortress? Forget out the walls, guys. There's paladins in front of you. Keep trebuchet production going and start hammering down the defenses here. Both the fortress and the castle down. That fortress looked dope as hell. Camels are definitely the right choice here. And this is living proof why you can't have too many trebuchets. Siege really, really, really determines your momentum when you're making pushes like this. And this is also a demonstration of why staying near the pop cap is important. If you're not at the pop cap, especially against multiple enemies, you're just gonna get taken down by the momentum that they have. We want to take down their siege workshops here, as well as their stables. And the devs are actually pretty smart in situating them in the back, knowing that those are the most valuable buildings. That's actually a fairly sizable red force there. Now, unfortunately for them, I don't even think it'll be enough to take down our castle with what little they've got left. They just simply don't have the production presence on the field anymore. And I think that's just about all we need here. We got a lot of trebuchets and army just laying around here. We don't need to produce any more, I don't think. And Red must have another river crossing on this end, but it'll soon be crushed. There's a relic over there. See, it looks like we're losing, but we really aren't. Maybe if the Franks are smart enough to train halberdiers, they would have won. But as it is, just using cavalry to run them over was all she wrote. They've got trebuchets, but it's too little too late, unfortunately for them. There's another relic in the space here. Plenty of gold on the map if you're fast enough. I think the most difficult part of this level is the early game.
Descendants of Berber are no match for our proud Berber cavalry. Long live the Umayyad Caliphate.
And it seems like the defeat condition for the enemy here is once they run out of land units and buildings. There's the achievement, Master of the Maghreb. They did have ships left. Blue also, the Bordeaux city also gave up after we destroyed all their buildings and land units, even though they had some ships left. Though they didn't sink their own ships. In terms of base building, I think that building right where your villagers start out, the advantage is that it happens immediately, and it's relatively safe to have access to all resources. You don't need to do any sneaking by the purple paladins, the Aquitanian paladins. The downsides are that your access to wood is actually pretty constrained initially. You have very little space to work with. Getting this castle and keeping this castle alive is extremely important because it lets you deal with both the navy and the incoming blue army. That's absolutely vital in keeping your position here. But again, like, I don't think that we would be much better off if we opted to start in any of these locations. Either way, if we went to the middle perhaps would be, it's the furthest from the enemy bases, but it's also right on the shoreline. And the far east is the hardest to get to, and it has very little wood access, whereas it's also like right on top of an enemy base here. Now, this red base and this red base were pretty easy to destroy. So there definitely is still something to be said for trying to go this way. But I think, like, for simplicity and speed, it's best to build your base here. The important thing is to just keep production going as much as possible. And I highly recommend using camels for this mission. Both because they can regenerate a little bit between waves with the Berber's unique tech, but also because they're just strong against paladins. Otherwise, the Frankish paladins are just too strong to deal with. The most difficult part of this scenario is definitely the starting part. If you can survive the initial few waves and build castles and get more resources, especially gold and stone, you'll be in good shape. There's not much booming that you really have to do because you're in the Imperial Age already, so there's not that many techs that you need to research before you can just start going directly into camels. Sprinkling in hussars is also a nice way to preserve some of your gold. Hussars are basically cheap, efficient pop space that you can just throw in there so that you can have more room for trebuchets. And as always, like siege, and more siege. Just always be producing siege weapons and protecting them so that they can clear out the enemy base as quickly as possible. Like, can you imagine trying to beat this level with only one trebuchet? It just wouldn't happen. You'd run out of units. You'd run out of steam way too quickly. It's all about momentum in this game because for all these campaigns, the enemies essentially just have unlimited resources. They can throw units at you forever if you're not fast enough. So the solution is just go faster.
With the blessing of Allah, the horn announcing our success sings a loud, shrill tone that echoes over the countryside. Upon hearing of our approach, Odo's army descended upon Bordeaux, only to be trampled beneath our hooves. Another Frankish army hastened south, but was no match for our brave seasoned warriors. A bloody battle ensued, and afterwards, the Franks lamented their defeat, saying that God alone knows the number of the slain. With the Frankish army defeated, there is little standing between our magnificent forces in eternal glory as the conquerors of Europe. For centuries, history will remember us as the courageous warriors who defeated countless kings. My journey is at an end, but our triumphant army marches north to defeat one final adversary, a man who calls himself the Hammer, Martel in the Frankish tongue, foolishly believes that he can resist us. Soon enough, his feeble army will crumble and flee, just like the rest.
So, not much story to be had for this one, but it is a nice show of how mass Berber cavalry works, and it's very exciting seeing a lot of units kind of slashing and hacking away at each other throughout the campaigns. I'd probably say my favorite one out of this campaign was crossing the Pyrenees. Even though most of it was just involving micro of your hero, the rest of these all seem more or less the same. I'd say Razzia comes in a close second because it actually is somewhat difficult, whereas the first three are all fairly easy. Razzia is not trivial, where you really do stand a chance of losing it at the start if you don't get your castle up quickly enough. But yeah, overall, very, very fun campaign. I like how they reference Charles Martel there at the end. If you guys are not aware already, Charles Martel did end up resisting the Moors, the Berbers, and there actually is another Age of Empires 2 campaign that came out before this one that shows Charles Martel's famous stand at Tours where they drove back the Moors / Berbers. So it's pretty cool that they have a callback to history there, linking two different scenarios, as well as kind of paying homage to the past mission that they had there, which was very, very cool. Overall, fun campaign, very straightforward. 4 of the 5 levels are just, build and destroy infinite enemy forces. But it was pretty fun overall. 2 Castle Age ones, an Imperial Age one, and then one against another Imperial Age one against Franks instead of against I think the Goths, the Asturians. Anyhow, that'll be it for me for now. We got a nice shiny golden medal under Tariq ibn Ziyad. Next time we'll be tackling Tamerlane. Though before I do Tamerlane, I might do Bassi AOC's custom Tamerlane missions so that we can get them all together. In any case, it's been a pleasure. This is the Clever Fool signing out.